Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Half-Life back with another video, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do this. And this will be quite a long video, but the end result will be absolutely amazing. So starting off, you're going to be using Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator, but just a teeny tiny bit of Illustrator. You can even skip that part if you don't want to. So I'm going to be using Chamber today as the agent of choice, and he's going to be starring in my banner as the main character, and he's a character from Valorant if you don't know. So starting off, we create a new file, and the file size should be exactly 2560 and 1440p. So this is 2K resolution if you don't know, and this will be absolutely perfect for us to start off. So we create a new empty canvas. From here, we are gonna be taking the YouTube banner template directly and pasting it in the canvas, and this can be found in the description along with all the PNGs and images that I use in this video. So yeah, now that we have imported the image and it fits perfectly exactly for the base of the canvas, because this is what the template is, and it is of the aspect ratio 2560 into 1440. Yeah, now that we have pasted this, here you can see the actual area of use of the banner. So going ahead, we will create a rectangle closing off the areas which we actually don't require. This area is only seen in the TVs, which I don't think so many people actually even see the banners on TVs. So we're gonna cover off the other part of the canvas with these rectangles, and yeah, let's just match the colors of the rectangles. And here we have the actual usage area. So now what we're gonna do is reduce the opacity, since we don't want it to actually interfere in what we are creating. We just need to know the borders of where we are working at, and this is the area of actual play. So right now I'm going for a white background with yellow tones which will pop up, and with a little bit of black. So Chamber's main color, as you know, is gold, so that's what we're going for. So the background is gonna stay white, and now what we're gonna do is we can either focus on the foreground or the background, but we're gonna start off with the background, and it's very simple. All you need is the grunge texture and just spread it across. So I'm just gonna expand it a little bit and cover one part, because I want the lighter part of the grunge, not the darker ones. So here we have it, and then once you press Ctrl C and Ctrl V, you get the other copy of it. I'm just gonna rotate it and just place it on the other side, and this is gonna be the basic of our background. But I'm gonna change the color, as go to effects and then go to color overlay, as I don't want it to pop as much. So I'm gonna go with, so here, if you want the actual proper color of gold, go to Google, just put gold color code, and then you will get the actual code of it. Just copy this, and then here, well, in your color palette, go and paste it in this box, and you will get the exact tone of gold you're looking for. And I'm gonna do that to the other layer as well. So once you're done, it will look something like this. And since the opacity is, and it's like a little too much, I'm gonna reduce the opacity of both the layers so that it is there but it's not popping. So yeah, this is more perfect, around 50 to 60%. We got the background. Let me tell you about the Illustrator part of this. So open Illustrator, and you want to choose an image. I'll show you the image as well. I'm just waiting for the Illustrator to open. So now you choose an image, and you want it to look like a sketch, like someone drew it. So what you do is take the image, copy it to Illustrator. Yeah, so this is how it opens. So once it opens, what you do is go to the window tab and select image trace. This is where you're gonna do your sketching. So select the image and now under preset go to sketched art. This is how it will look. Don't panic, don't worry. Here play with the threshold and pull it to the left or the right as much as you like it, and once you're happy with the outcome, all you have to do is copy this image to Photoshop. Just drag it and then open Photoshop. Let me just open it once and drag and drop. So now it's copied to Photoshop and it's that simple. And that's the only part with the Illustrator included. If you don't have it, you can completely skip this step and go with something else which would fancy your banner. But I wanted a sketched art and this is the fastest way you can get it. And it looks absolutely amazing to look at. Yeah, so now I'm gonna resize it until where I want it. And yeah, here again, you can always check where the boundaries of the safe area is and adjust it accordingly. I wanted a little bit off center, not exactly taking all of your attention, but is impactful. And black is good, all good for now. So let me just, once you press Alt and scroll, you get to zoom in and get more of the image that you must be knowing, or if you didn't know, you learned something new here. So right now we have Chamber himself, and we can always work on the foreground, but I feel let's populate the background first. And here's another neat trick which I learned and I want to tell you. So open a text layer and download this font called GK type, and this font is not exactly a font, it's kind of like a design. Instead of the numbers, what you get is, okay, wait, let me just drag, my bad. Let me select the text layer. Yeah, so this is what you get instead of the numbers. Okay, my bad. Yeah, so this is what you get instead of the numbers. From 1 to 9, you can click any number and this is what the design you get. So let's just go with one number, 9 maybe, and this is the font you get. So now what we do is, let's resize it a bit, make it more bigger, and then we just place it as a background element, you know. We'll blend it in a lot more, but right now I'm just playing around with it and trying to see what fits and what doesn't. I think this is fine. And yeah, let's just copy this image and make more of such designs which will just be in the background, nothing much to it. I can add, or you can always add more of it, but I'm fine with this for now. So let's continue. So I've added a bunch of these font design types. You can always add it yourself. The link is in the description. It's GK type, you can find the font there. So moving on, what we do next is add more elements to the background. And since Chamber's ability is called Headhunter, which uses a deagle, so I do have an image of pistol which I'm gonna use for the background. It will look actually amazing because I've already tried it. It took me around 3 hours to get all the things right, but once you know what you're doing, it goes a lot faster. So I'm gonna add this here. You can always, you know, resize, play around with it, but since I want to complete it faster, I'm just gonna keep placing stuff and try to populate the background, you know. Okay, I think I'm happy with this and it looks really good and decent. So I'm good with this. So moving on, we got this right, and now I think it's time we can focus on the foreground and maybe come to the background later and to adjust stuff. And you can always adjust the color of the background elements. So we have all these pistol layers, we can press shift and select all of them. and reduce their opacity a bit because it's too much, it's grabbing too much attention. That's what it's doing. So once we have selected all of this, we can merge it into one layer and then add a color overlay to it. And I feel like I want to go towards a metallic gold, so let me just search up metallic, and yeah, we got the color here. Copy it and you will get the color, and looks absolutely perfect. And for these elements also, I would want to merge the layers. Okay, we can't actually merge these two text layers, so we will individually give them the color that we want, and then reduce the opacity also. So reducing this opacity to 75, I feel that's good. It's blending in nicely. Yeah, it's perfect. So now that we have blended the background, now we can focus on the foreground. I'm gonna add the text layer now, the main thing, the 3D text layer. That's what makes this pop. So we're gonna make a new text layer, and I'm gonna write half LF, control T it. Oh, my bad. Control T it so you guys can actually see what I'm writing. Drag it down, and here this font will also be linked in the description. It's absolutely really good. So it's called Superline if I'm not wrong, and yes, it is called Superline. So I want an outline italic, that's what I want, and there's a lot of effects in this font also, that's why I like it so much. So we're gonna drag it somewhere around here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna space it a little bit more because I have an idea which I'm gonna do later on. And again, we can always enable the YouTube layer to see what is the safe area. Let me actually select the font. Okay, let's drag. Okay, the background elements always must be under the foreground element, so make sure you got that right. Just drag the elements down. So that's okay. So now I can actually select the text and move it a bit, and yeah, this looks perfect, and hopefully we are in the range, yeah, correctly. So I'm just gonna drag this a little bit more towards the left, and yeah, now this is perfect. I'm gonna disable this and work on the foreground text. So now that we have this text, we're gonna make 3 layers of the same text. Okay, so I'm gonna paste it 2 times, and then drag both over one another. And now the middle, okay, so first the top layer, what we're gonna do is drag it to the left and little bit towards the top, and that looks perfect. Yeah, and the middle layer, let me disable the top layer now, and the middle layer a little bit off. Yeah, this is perfect. Let me enable that layer. So now it looks kind of weird and it's kind of confusing to understand. So what we do is we click on the middle layer, and this font has a special type of, it's a special type of font which has hashes, and it looks absolutely perfect right now. So, but in order to achieve perfection, you need to, spend some time. And let me just lock the above layer. I think this is fine. I could have, perfected it a little more, but yeah, it looks weird. All right, I accept it, but wait till I do the final effect. So now that we've selected, select the bottommost text layer that we have out of the 3, and go to the line tool. Select the line tool here and make sure they are on the same. Okay, so we're gonna go to black and make sure this thickness is about the thickness of the text layer itself. Okay, so yeah, make sure the thickness is about the same and start matching the edges, and that's what gives it a 3D look, and that's what makes it look so good once you're done with it, and if you get it right. And we are about done. So I did a mistake and all the line layers are above the bottom-most one, so dragged it down and now it looks perfect. Hopefully, let's check out the outcome. Yup, it looks perfect. So now that we got a 3D text effect, you can add another bit of flair to it by just drawing a straight line across this and changing its color to gold. So once you've changed the color to gold, maybe even increase its thickness, not too much and not too less. About 6 is fine. So now what you do is select the line and use an eraser tool. It initially won't allow you to use the eraser tool, but once you click it, you will get this pop-up and just go okay with it. It's basically allowing you to draw or erase over the area what you just selected. And yeah, so about 14, and erase whatever part I don't need, and it will look actually amazing once you're done. It's a simple effect, but it looks beautiful and looks more elegant. So now that we are done with this, we have a few more things to do. Since I have life in my name, Half-Life, I can't just omit it. You can, but I'm not gonna omit it. So what I'm gonna do is add another text layer, saying life, select it to black, select it as only italic, reducing the font size a lot more, then dragging it and reducing it again a lot more. I think this much would be fine. Now drag it where I want it here. My bad. Here, and make sure again with this. Anyways, make sure that there's less space between them and drag it here. Okay, so this is what I want, and so I'm gonna make multiple copies of it. I'm dragging the wrong layer, dude, and that's what it is. Okay, now put this here. Okay, now that's fine, and then make 2 more copies of it. And try to align it in the same height. Yeah, I think that's fine. No, it's a little more. Okay, and one last copy of it, and then move it here. This might be outside the play area, but it's fine. Since the majority of it is seen, it's all good. So yeah, now I want to go for different tones. I want this, this. Let me just check which layer is this. Okay, so I want this to be the same color. Okay, no, I want that to be black, but this one, the second one, I want it to be the same color as that, but I'm gonna give it a stroke so that it actually is seen. Same thing with this one, and give it a stroke. scene. That's cool. Gives a dual tone effect, which I'm going for. Not multiple colors, white, black and gold. That's what I've been going for, and that's what we got here. So now that we are having everything, but the background, there's only gold going on, so you can add a little more spice to it by adding something of black, okay, a color black, which will spice the background up also. So I've got the perfect thing. So since we're talking about chamber, we're gonna use his utilities PNG. So chamber abilities PNG, and we're gonna use this. So this is his ultimate PNG. Even though it's white, we can make it black. So what we do is try to save the image, but it's in WebP format, so we can't actually save it and use it in Photoshop. So there's another trick that you can use here. Right click and copy image address and go back to Photoshop, file, open, and paste the address here. It will take some time, but you will be able to use the PNG once it's loaded in. So you don't have to exactly download the image directly. You can just copy the image address and paste it here, and the image will open eventually, and then you can directly use the PNG. So as you can see here, this is the PNG. Copy and paste it here. Control T. I can't actually see it, so let me just add a color overlay to it, to black, and then resize the way you want and place it where you want. So I'm gonna be resizing it a little bit more, placing it here, copying and placing a smaller version. And what I'm gonna do is select all these layers and reduce the opacity, because we don't want them to pop out. We just want them to be in the background. You can also add blur. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna merge all of these layers first and then add blur to them. Okay, I might have selected the layers. Yep, merge these layers. Where is it? Yep, merge these layers and then add blur to it. Go to filter, go to blur. You can add Gaussian blur or motion blur. Too much motion blur is not that great, so let's reduce it and just keep it so that blur hai, but then oh shit, there's blur. We don't want that. So there's a little bit of blur. I'm happy with it. And now the background has a little bit of black going on, a little bit of gold and white itself. We have almost done, okay? We are almost done, and it's almost about 30, but I will fast forward a little bit where I'm just rambling about stuff. Yeah, now we come to the main character, and that's Chamber himself. Now what we do here is basically, first of all, erase the grunge part, the texture which is behind him, which doesn't look that great. So I'm just going to go to the texture layer, not this, but this. I'm going to select the layer, and then I'm going to bring the eraser tool and click on it. It will say you must rationalize the layer. We're going to say okay, and then we're going to start erasing the parts which we don't require. You can do it a lot faster if you have a bigger thing. I just want to be precise, but who has the time, you know? So I'm gonna clean up all the parts which we don't like and we don't want. So kind of making a rough work of it, but yeah, you can always spend more time. You know, the better conclusion and the better effects you give, the more time you actually spend on it. Yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, we are done here. Now I'm just gonna go select the main layer, the vector layer. And what you're gonna do is select the below layer and create a new layer above it. And here we're gonna actually use the brush tool and select the same color, hopefully, and kind of give Chamber's hair a little bit of, you know, gold to it, so that it stands out a little bit more, you know what I mean. Hopefully you get what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, this looks perfect. We can add a little bit of black to it, you know, a little bit of black streaks to it. Okay, yeah, I think I'm ready. A little bit here and there. Throw us a touch-ups with gold. Yep, okay. So yeah, here that we have touched up with a little bit of gold and yellow accent, we can give the vector a little bit of 3D effect by adding a drop shadow. And this is the perfect amount. It's not standing out too much. I would like to reduce a little bit more. Yeah, around 6 pixels is fine. And I don't want the opacity to be absolutely 100%, which will spoil the image. But around 30 is good. It's giving that 3D effect just like the text. And it kind of stands out as well. I would just reduce the opacity a bit, not too much. And yeah, this is what we were going for, a 3D text effect with the main character standing out and the background kind of matching your vibe. And it's like a 3-tone effect that is black, white and gold. That's what we went for, and it looks absolutely amazing. Hopefully you enjoyed this banner, and hopefully you will try to replicate something like this, or you know, go mad and make your own stuff. So yeah, so now we have everything in the perfect play area. Supposedly, yes, the main character and the text is in the play area. This part is kind of getting cut off, but it's fine, it adds to the vibe. But apart from that, everything is in the play area. And this part you can always add some patterns and spicing it up, but I'm just gonna keep it blank for now. It won't be seen anyways except on TVs. But yeah, hopefully you learned something new. And apart from that, do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and do comment what video you want next. And with that, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.